This is Matt and Alex's
Long Lunch.
Time to chat to someone who has just come off the 9th season of The Voice and has released a new song which sounds a little bit like this. Tell how good it is, not only by the sound, but by the fact that the artists themselves have just put on some cool sunnies to have a dance to it here on Zoom. It's Delta Goodrem. Hello, Delta.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Oh, we're great. 9th season of The Voice. That is absolutely wild. Would you say, I have to say that this, personally, you know, there's been a lot of The Voice in the news. This seems to have been the spiciest season yet.
I mean, to me, each year feels like it gets spicier and spicier. So I
mean, Guy Sebastian's brother winning. How did you feel about it? Be honest now, Delta.
I thought it was the perfect timing to invite my brother. I think next year it's all about team. And frankly, you know, my brother says to me when I say to Trent, you know, he says it's the number one question people ask him, like, can you sing? And he always goes, well, you'll never know. You'll never know. And I think it's time that I find out if my brother sings.
Yeah. Or you could start judging other shows. You could be a judge on So You Think You Can Dance. You know, Australia's Got Talent. What other ones are there? Survivor.
Look,
you could be the host.
I don't know if you'd want me judging a dancing contest. I don't know if you'd want me judging any of those ones. I love my role at The Voice, and I love my show like more than anything. It is a brilliant show to be a part of. And the fact that after 9 years, that this year we had to find a new way. I was really proud of the fact that everybody social distance. We had people on the screens. It was high tech. It was really, really, like, considering we're in the middle of a pandemic and we still shot the show. I was really proud of that.
Yeah, you did
Absolutely.
miraculously well. And we should say for the record, I've seen Chris Sebastian singing with Setmo before, and he is excellent as well. So he doesn't have a
Yes.
bad voice.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear. He is a talented singer, and I was really happy for him. I mean, like, no, all jokes aside for the fact that my brother is the butt of all my jokes right now. But Chris is super talented, and it's awesome. Australia voted season 9. That's it.
Indeed. Well, you are a host there because your voice is pretty nifty itself, Delta, and we can hear that on the new song "Paralyzed" as well. Tell us about where this came from and what you're singing about when it comes to "Paralyzed," because it seems like certainly apt for the times.
Yeah, the interesting part was with that song is that I do believe it was meant to be written, and I knew that there was a reason for it, but it was something super personal in my life, which was my own story, and it was a total reset where, you know, life just said, you know, all of my plans have been stopped right now. You've just got to focus on another part of your life, and all that I know is paralyzed. But as I sort of read the words in this moment in life, because I recorded it, I produced it, I did all my work on the new kind of era of music before going into isolation, thinking I had like spent my time with my piano, like I'm good, I've done a lot of the record. Then it's like, no, it's me and you again. No. But I didn't write it about this moment, but it definitely feels like it could be anyone's story right now with the fact that, you know, things changed. That's you know, and it's a real reset right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the very first line, the very first lyric of the song is "Doctor paused this life. You know, he told me you won't fly." Does that
cancel everything? It says.
Well, yeah, cancelled everything. I mean, that is a pretty, considering that you have battled with your own health issues and quite publicly as well. That's a very bold first statement to make, you know, not just about this song, but about the record and about how personal that you're willing to make it. Was that a confronting decision to really go out there, or is that you trusting your heart with everything you do?
No, that's a great question, Matt. It was definitely a lot of conversations because there's obviously some up-tempo vibes. There's a lot of, it's all live instruments. I got very back to basic for me, where I had to find the backbone of all my stories and what I wanted to say. But for some reason, when I was going into sharing with everybody what I'd written and sort of made, because the lyrics felt like it was about this moment, I mean, it just kind of made sense to send it out there that this would be, you know, something that I could understand. And hopefully, because my whole intention is to always send music with love, and just if that responds to something in your life and that's your a part of your soundtrack, then what an honor. And I guess that's why, sort of at the same time, I kind of enjoyed the flashbacky feeling of that song, because that is a little bit of the inspiration of this record. But it wasn't about my cancer battle. But at the moment, I kind of have just been going on the aspect of art, making it can be whatever you feel or see in it,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really incredible to read as well that, everyone obviously adapting to these times. But last month you launched the Delta Goodrem Foundation, which is quite incredible, in partnership with St. Vincent's Hospital. Tell us how this came about and what you're going to be doing with it.
Yeah, of course. I basically, after all these years of sort of doing anything I could, where I could, and a part of charity and it had still become, I mean, bringing it back to, this is about going through cancer, starting out on my very early journey, and being a really proud survivor, but obviously having that still present in my life, because so many people who are in the fight might reach out on a weekly basis, so the conversation is quite consistent throughout my life. And there's no wall between us to talk about it, But right now, to be able to sort of find authentic partnerships for the Delta Goodrem Foundation, the mission statement is touching lives and inspiring hearts. And now I believe that I've got an umbrella that I can truly focus and have an impact where I believe and I want to bring people to that umbrella and spread kindness and love for the hardship and inequality. And that's something that I'm sort of, really, really proud to announce. It's a really exciting part of my life now.
Yeah, I mean, it's very inspiring, and it's also a very important cause. Alex Dyson and I both have mothers who passed away from cancer, and we've certainly been hit by the effects of this illness quite seriously. So,
do you mind me asking what type of cancer?
Well, my mother's cancer was breast cancer that had spread to her brain. Alex Dyson.
Yeah, breast cancer. But yeah, like Matt, I think it spreads, and that's where it gets
spread somewhere. Yeah, and
awful.
So I mean, I'm intrigued about your journey, and I understand it's a personal one, so I don't want to delve too deep.
You're right.
What within your journey, was there ever a moment, or what was a scary moment that you had throughout that whole process? What was it like being told, or where was a moment where you thought, gee, I might not get through this?
I mean, firstly, what a connection the two of you would have on that. And secondly, I guess, I'm very cognizant of everybody has a very individual journey, and that so many people have their own stories with this. But my story, I guess the first time you ever hear that word enter into your life was probably the biggest shock, of course. That mine, and I have shared this story before, mine was that I had just broken into the music scene, and I was only 18 years old, and I'd gotten my third number one single from that first album, and I was flying over to the UK and for weekends and coming back to neighbours, and I was working what had been a vision and a dream since I was born, and then obviously it wasn't the trajectory I imagined, and basically I was getting extremely tired I was getting, and you could put it down to exhaustion, flying and playing trains, and then all of a sudden these in-store situations of, before Twitter and everything, you're there for 14 hours like signing, and so you naturally think that maybe you get a little tired after that. And my heart was like, well, I give everything and now I've got nothing. I'm trying to, and then basically I had a really bad dream. I had gone to the doctors numerous times with symptoms. I had gone when I was in Melbourne, and I had shown that my immune was probably breaking down. I'd had quite an extensive rash, and then I had night sweats, and I'd had all these common symptoms. And then I'd had a extremely dark dream, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I was sweating. It basically looked like I'd jumped in the ocean and got back into bed. And which is a night sweat, something I've learned is one of the symptoms. And I called my mom and I said, something's wrong, something's going to happen. And I started telling everybody something's really bad is going to happen. I don't know what it is. And then I got back to Sydney, and as I said, I'd gone to the doctors, and I'd basically to try to get fit because I was so tired. I went to the gym, and I had a little something pop from behind my neck, that I realized then was my tumor had grown, had come out from my under my one of my little warriors there, and I then had Rolling Stone was following me around at the time. I was off to the States that week, and on the Monday, I was in the studio doing a Christmas song to go with, and my producer said to me, he goes, do you want to sing another vocal, or do you just want to play? And I was like, I'm so tired. I'm just going to play the piano for a little while. And basically, I'd gone to the doctors the day before. I'd had all the blood tests, had the biopsies. And then the moment that the door opened and my mum walked in and my brother walked in behind her, and I saw their faces. And then I looked to my dear kindred producer, who's still one of my favorite people in this whole entire world. And he just had tears rolling down his eyes. And then I looked to my mum and my brother, and they said, "We've got to take you back to the hospital, and we've got to see the doctors." And I was like, "Why? What's happening?" And they said, "Well, they think you have cancer." And that was the first time I ever heard the word come into my life. And then I went to the hospital, and the next day I was having an operation. And then by the Friday, we had the plan, and the whole country knew, and it was a very different gear shift again.
That's incredible. And I actually remember, Delta, and I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I remember where I was when, yeah, I didn't realize this is where we'd be heading, but I remember being in the Warrnambool College at my high school library and reading the paper in the morning. And yeah, that's, I guess, the morning that it was in the paper. And yeah, I remember feeling quite sad about that because, and it would have been a bit before, I can't remember this timeline, but I remember when Belinda Emmett sadly passed away from cancer a little while ago. And it reminded me when I saw your story in the paper of the time where I found that out, and that was sitting at home on the couch, and the new breaking news thing came on the TV, and I was sitting next to my dad, and he just broke down crying because my mum had passed away sort of years earlier, and I'm just like, yeah, cancer can touch so many different people in so many different ways, and yeah, it's really interesting how you would just be. People would be getting in touch with you and talking to you, since your own diagnosis and being able to get through it and coming and talking to you about their own, whether it's personal or family experiences. And now with the Delta Goodrem Foundation, you'd be able to, help a lot of those people as well. So congratulations on setting up. It's such a remarkable experience. And are there any other, stories of people and ways that it in which it's helped the foundation so far and people getting in touch with you around it?
I mean, it's definitely as we launched, there was definitely a beautiful response that we were very grateful for. People reaching out, but I kind of the first port of call was to go to the hospital. And I've been a big part of that hospital anyway. We've worked very hard through the years to raise money in different sides when they've called upon me. But then to kind of partner with them to work into cellular therapy and an umbrella, that was the cancer research. That is my first call. But the foundation, I intend it to have many different partners through the years and be able to make a difference. But so many people's lives are touched, and I feel the connection when you share with me that story. And there's something really about that connection that is when people share their stories. I really don't take it lightly. I take it very much to heart.
Yeah, amazing.
Well, my other Delta Goodrem story is absolutely butchering Predictable on the piano when I was trying to learn it.
Yes, he did.
The piano is right there.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, there is one there.
Right there.
Well, if you insist.
Come on. You can't be playing.
Oh, he's playing Paralyzed.
There we go. It's a new song from Delta Goodrem via Alex Dyson. There you go.
One. It is called Paralyzed. It is off the 6th album. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that you're working towards 6 albums. How do you make your 6th album feel exciting for you again? How do you not get trapped in that whole idea of here we go again?
I feel that occasionally, but no, I you know what? The truth is that I did approach this album differently. I did tell myself, like I said, I'm just going to sit at the piano, be inspired by Alex's playing, and I just sat and played and painted from the ground up again. And that's where I started my career. I started it from just piano themes finding the pattern, and then building. And so this one, I went and did that and went and found the best musos in the world. I got like Coldplay string arranger. I got the John Mayer's band. I kind of just went and got Adele's mixer. I just went and found people that I was like, this is what I love.
Whoa. Delta, did you just name drop Coldplay and John Mayer there? Because Matt O'Kine and I literally last week, we both said in a conversation with, I think we were talking to Jack River, who were our favourite artists that we listened to. And I'm like, Coldplay, Rush of Blood to the Head. And Matt's like, I really like John Mayer's
like
album.
the first couple of albums.
And so
I mean, we're supposed to be
your
all
our
cool
appetite for some new Delta Goodrem,
dudes.
Delta.
I feel like we have a real connection. I just let you know, like, I'm like, you guys are coming on the road with me, actually.
Oh, please.
Well, Alex has got your piano playing down, Pat.
Hang on, Delta.
Oh, well, hold up. Alex has just gotten out of his chair. Oh, no way. He's coming back with a key. Is that a keytar?
I got the keytar. You need the keytarist.
Come on.
I definitely do. This is perfect.
I didn't think we'd go from discussing, personal traumas and loss of family to auditioning for a spot on your tour gig, Delta. I'm sorry that we've done.
I was asking you. It's me. I can't believe you both said those as the artist.
Hey,
funny.
Anything could happen all day breakfast. Thank you very much, Delta Goodrem. Really appreciate you making time for us. Congratulations on the new song Paralyzed, which you can check out off the upcoming 6th album. It's been a delight, and hopefully we'll chat to you again sometime soon.
All right, would love to. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks
Thanks,
Delta.
Delta. All the best.
Bye, guys.